Now warning, this is a Toonie. For all of you that have followed the Quick Take channel for a while, you know that I'm about to cuss and swear and rant. And for those of you that are new here, you might not want to watch this one with the kids. Quick Take Big Dick coming here from Saskatchewan here today with a Quick Take Big Dick Toonie, where you get $2 worth of my things because 2 cents don't buy very much anymore. Today, we're talking about Guilbeault and his absolutely ridiculous environmental policies. This is Guilbeault. He is our Federal Minister of Environment and Climate Change. You might be thinking to yourself, hey, Quick Take, that can't be a federal minister. That looks like a bad version of Where's Waldo after a lifetime of hard illicit drug use. I'm like, I know, but unfortunately now in Canada, the threshold that has to be met to be a federal minister isn't very fucking high, not only in the looks department, but also in the intelligence department. Now this goofball and his whack job boss have come up with a lot of crazy shit over the last couple of years, like the carbon tax, raising the carbon tax, adding the clean fuel standard, fucking banning plastic straws and bags and forks. But this whole ban on coal-generated electricity is maybe taking the King Dipshit Pile Award. So Ottawa proposes the clean electricity regulations, which would require all provinces, including Saskatchewan, to phase out coal-generated electricity and replace it with renewables by 2035. Zero emissions in a province that averages 80% of its power generation from fossil fuels. Our only other options would be wind, solar, nuclear, and hydro. Small modular reactors? Fucking A. Let's roll. We got the uranium right here in Saskatchewan. Problem? 10 years out before we can even start thinking about construction on one of these things. There's hydro, but have you seen our topography here in Saskatchewan? It doesn't accommodate hydro that well. The problem with Saskatchewan is our peak grid demand usually comes through the middle of the winter and the middle of the night when it's minus 40 outside, where we lack wind and we lack solar energy. Just look at last year, we had several days in a row where we had no output whatsoever from them, and our wind turbines were actually putting a negative draw on our power grid. Hey, renewables are cool, but renewables are not reliable, and you have to see the hypocrisy in a federal government pushing its population off of coal-fired generation, trying to replace it with solar panels, whose silicone wafers are almost exclusively manufactured by one of the biggest coal-burning countries on the planet. So the Sultan of Sox's lemming here, Waldo, states that the ban on coal has been regulated through the Canadian Environmental Protection Act, which means that not complying with the regulations would result in violating Canadian criminal code. Well, holy shit, Stevie, finally something you're talking about that you have real life experience with. You've been in an orange suit more than Lloyd Christmas from Dumb and Dumber. Who your boss has a strange resemblance to, by the way. Gibby, if you think for 2 seconds in the middle of January at minus 45 and your renewable energy is working about as hard as a Canadian federal cabinet minister, that I'm going to give 2 fiddlers fucks about your clean electricity regulations putting me in violation of Canadian criminal code, I'm going to use whatever the fuck I've got to keep myself warm and alive. So Scott Moe says, hey, you know what? No, we're not going to do this. We're actually going to run out our power generators to end of life, and we're going to keep shooting for net zero by 2050. Finally, some common fucking sense. No. You know what? That's not going to work for us. No. Earth to other provinces. If we all get together and just say, hey, no, we're going to use what we got and keep planning towards a better future, they wouldn't be able to do shit about it. No different than how I manage vehicles. This is Morty, 1994 F-150. He uses them every single day on the farm. And when he reaches the end of his life cycle, we will upgrade to the go-to-town truck. 3-liter eco diesel. It was the most fuel-efficient pickup that I could find at the time when I bought it in 2016. And eventually, this is going to replace Morty, and I will go to buy something new that is going to fulfill the exact same needs of this one. Reliable, can function in all climates, get me to where I need to go and back without having to worry about it. When I go to buy something new, I will already consciously try and make the best decision I can for my operation and the environment at the same time. I'm going to do that on my own. I don't need your fucking EV mandate that states that by 2026, 20% of all passenger vehicles for sale in Canada must be zero emission. By 2030, 60% of all passenger vehicles for sale in Canada must be zero emission. And by 2035, 100% of all passenger vehicles in Canada must be zero emission, or we're gonna fine you. There's no such fucking zero emission vehicle. Can you wrap your fucking head around a government saying, if you do not purchase an electric vehicle, we will fine you. And once you have that electric vehicle, you must charge it with renewable energy. If you use anything else, you will be considered a fucking criminal in your own country. That's where we're at in Canada right now. My Toonie, Guilbeault, get bent. Your climate activism.
I still am a climate activist.
I still am a climate activist.
It's making life unaffordable for me, my parents, my grandparents, my community members, my fellow Saskatchewanians, my fellow Canadians, all while you openly advocate to have us freeze and starve in the dark. I'm not going to comply with any of your bullshit. I'm actually done with it. I'm just going to keep doing what I've always done. I'm going to pollute as little as possible. I'm going to recycle as much as possible. I'm going to source my food as local as possible and eliminate as much waste as I can from that food. And I'm going to keep trying to buy things that are manufactured here in Canada. That's what I'm going to do to help the environment. What I can promise you I won't do is fly around the globe to luxurious destination climate summits, running a carbon footprint twice the size of your boss's forehead to jerk off a whole bunch of other climate activists about the next step we can take to freeze, starve, and bankrupt our population. And while you bunch of self-important pricks are running around the world doing that bullshit, we'll be here in Saskatchewan, sequestering carbon, keeping a healthy ecosystem, and sustainably keeping a planet fed. This is Quick Tech Big Tech signing off with a special message for Justin Trudeau and Stephen Guilbeault. Our answer is fucking no. Catch you next time. QuickTechBigTech.ca. We've got like these, except they're clean and new, and some of these and some other stuff there. All made in Canada, of course. But if you want a dirty, greasy one, let me know and I can wear it around for a couple days for you and get it smelling like me or something. You weirdo, what is this, OnlyFans? Catch you next time.